Don't scroll. You're about to hear about one of the greatest miracles ever recorded. This is the story of the feeding of the 5,000, a miracle of abundance that will leave you in awe. It was during Jesus' ministry, a time when his teachings drew countless crowds yearning for spiritual nourishment and hope in their hardships. One day, Jesus and his disciples decided to withdraw to a quiet place for rest. But as word spread, people from the surrounding villages followed him. Can you imagine it? Thousands of men, women, and children walking across fields, some carrying little ones, others clutching whatever food they could bring. They were desperate to hear Jesus' words, to witness his love and power. They stood under the sun, in the heat, yet they wouldn't leave. That's faith. Now, when Jesus saw the crowd, numbering 5,000 men, not counting the women and children, his heart was moved with compassion. It's amazing, isn't it? Jesus didn't see a burden. He saw souls in need. As the day turned to evening, the disciples, practical as ever, turned to Jesus. They said, "Send the people away so they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." Fair request, right? But Jesus had other plans. He replied, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat." Imagine the disciples' confusion. In their hands, they had only 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish, barely enough for themselves, let alone a crowd the size of a small city. But here's where the impossible becomes possible. Jesus asked the people to sit down on the grass. He took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up to heaven, gave thanks, and broke the loaves. Then, he gave them to the disciples to distribute, and just like that, a miracle unfolded before their eyes. Imagine being a child in that crowd, watching as basket after basket of food was passed around. Every bite tasted as fresh as if it had just been prepared. Not a single person was left hungry. By the end, incredibly, there was food left over. 12 baskets full, enough to feed even more. With just 5 loaves and 2 fish, Jesus fed more than 5,000 people that day. Isn't that mind-blowing? But this story is not just about feeding a crowd. It's about something much deeper. It's about trusting that God provides abundance where we see lack. Jesus showed that when we give even our little, our not enough, to God, he can multiply it in ways we could never imagine. It's the same in our daily lives. You might feel like you don't have much to give, whether it's time, resources, or even emotional strength. But here's the truth. When you offer your little to God, it becomes more than enough in his hands. Now picture this. Thousands of satisfied people full of food, returning home not just nourished physically, but spiritually refreshed as well. This wasn't just a miracle of bread and fish. It was a miracle of faith, gratitude, and heavenly provision. So let me ask you, what loaves and fishes do you have in your life? What small offering can you trust God to multiply? Don't underestimate the power of faith and generosity. You might just witness your own miracle. Think about it. He's the same Jesus now as he was then, abundant in compassion and infinite in power. So why not bring your not enough to him and let him work wonders? Remember, sometimes miracles begin with what seems impossible. If this story inspired you, share it, because you never know who else needs this reminder today. See you in the next episode. #Bible, #Jesus, #God, #Jews, #Christian, #Christianity, faith.